Hello again, welcome to the channel. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. I hope you've all had a really good week and had an opportunity to get into your craft room and create something. I've had a very busy week, so I've not got as much done as what I'd hoped, but I have had a bit of a play and am looking forward to having a bit more of a play with you today with our Junk Journal Madness June project, and I decided that I was going to do a travel journal in a cruise theme. So we're going to go on with that today. But before I start, I do want to say a big hello to all my regulars and a massive thank you for your likes and your hypes and your lovely comments and encouragement. It really is so encouraging to hear from you. And a hello and welcome to our new subscribers. I hope you really enjoy the channel. So let's have a little look at our cover. Now I have made the cover. I made it in the first Junk Journal Madness video for the month of June, so I will link that below. Now the only thing that I've done since I saw you was I put a jump ring here on my little medallion from Princess just so that it sat a little bit better. And the other thing that I have done is I have put some eyelets in so that we can thread the elastic into our traveler's style journal together. And the other thing that I am going to do today is I'm going to put in some signatures. So I've pulled together quite a lot of my bits and pieces from cruising. And then we're also going to do maybe a few collage, very quick collage pages today together, to put a little bit of life into the journal to get started. So let me get set up and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is put some elastic in it. Now I have quite thick elastic to use and I got it on sale from Spotlight here in Australia for $4 for the roll, and I bought a few of them. It was 15 meters long and it's 2.5 millimeters wide, which is just under 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to string our journal. So I'm going to do 1, 2 and a bit in height. And I'm going to thread it now, and I'm going to go down through this eyelet first. So this is the back of the journal. So I'm going to go down the bottom right and then up the bottom left, down the top left and up the top right. And I'll just turn it. So nothing super difficult yet. And I'll just tension that a little bit. I want it to have a bit of tension, but not too much. I want it to be firm, but not strained. And I'm just going to tie a knot in that. Pull it nice and tight. Check it. That feels pretty good. And cut that off. And there we go. That's how simple it is. And I've left it a little bit longer just so that until I get it all loaded, I may want to tighten it. So I need there to be a little bit of length on my elastic if I want to re-tie it. Okay, so let's now look at the signatures that I've put together. Okay, I pulled out my cruising junk. You can see that it is all my bits and pieces from a lot of our cruises that we've done in the last 5 years. And you can see that I save everything. I won't open it up too much because it's got personal information on it, but it's a good pile of bits and pieces. And I keep all of the paper that they hand out to you when you go on a cruise, everything. Keep all of the bits and pieces, baggage labels, disembarkation information, the schedule, or the padder on Princess. It's called a padder, or the fun times on Carnival. So I keep everything. And what I've done is I have compiled 2 signatures that have got a selection of those bits and pieces in them to go into the journal. Now I'll do a little bit of a quick flip through, and I've put a piece of scrapbook paper, good quality scrapbook paper, onto it just as a bit of a cover, but I'm not making a cover for my signature. I'm just letting it evolve as the time goes on. So this one here, this piece of paper has got a faux menu on it, and that's out of a Cartabella range, and the name of that is called Cartabella Let's Cruise. And the other cover is out of a Graphic 45 Catch of the Day. And in each signature, there's a bit of a selection of bits. So you can see here we've got a Remember to Put Your Clock Back from Princess. It's got a Princess Patter, and this one was an embarkation day on Coral Princess. We've got a water shuttle in Sydney. And the reason I kept that is because it's very unusual for you to have a water shuttle. That was when there was a cyclone off the coast of Queensland, and we were meant to go to Airlie Beach, and we ended up going to Sydney instead, but all of the port placements in Sydney were taken, so we did a tender, which was very unusual. Some room information, some baggage labels, and you can see that I have stuck some washi on where I've got personal information, our dining plan, and another patter, a fun times. These are the envelopes that you get when you have your door card or your cruise card, and Carnival puts them in these. So I've got those to stick in. An entertainment spotlight of all of the different comedians and artists. Another patter, that was Sydney, and that was on the Royal Princess. This one here is when I was on a cruise with my parents and we were in New Zealand, and it's in Wellington. So I've got the Botanic Gardens, and then I've got a map of Cairns when we went to Cairns, and then it's just the back end of all of that. Here we've got a P&O Good Times, and this one is of Airlie Beach. This one's of Cairns. This one's a personal dining plan telling us which dining rooms we're going to. Another key card, a baggage label, another envelope that we got our information in, welcome aboard information, a fun times of Carnival, another patter, and it's a sea day and on Royal Princess. Here's a baggage label for Coral Princess, and another patter. What was that patter? Oh, that was an embarkation onto the Coral Princess. That was a Brisbane 4-dayer, just Brisbane to Brisbane long weekend. And another dining plan, and you can see that then it's just repeated at the back. So you can see that I really have just put together a collection of memorabilia from a range of cruises. I haven't put them in any particular order because it was way too hard to try and get it to fold and be in the right order, and I'm going to collage onto most of them. Okay, so we'll have those there. Now, the other thing that I have got is I've got some bits and pieces to start to give it a little bit of personality. So we'll add the signatures in, but I have pulled out a few things to do with you today. I have started pulling out a few pages out of some magazines, and you can see here that I have stuck down some magazine paper onto some scrapbook paper of Santorini. Now, the reason I wanted to pop this one in is because I have two favourite cruises that I've been on. The Greek islands is one of them, or it was an Eastern Mediterranean cruise, and I went to a few places, but the Greek islands was one of them. So I've got that, and I've glued it down, ready to slide that in somewhere. I also pulled out this, and some of you might think, oh, that's not a very cruisy picture, But there's a bit of a story about this. One of the things that my husband and I love about cruising is that you wake up, especially if you wake up early and you go up to the top deck and you see the sunrise, and you see the most magical sunrises. So you can see that I've got a sunrise here with some birds and the light hitting the water. And then as you know, the day progresses slightly, you end up pulling into port somewhere. And so you've had this magical sunrise coming in, usually into some sort of river or harbour, something like that. Then you pull up and you dock at a port, and then you hop on, you have breakfast, and then you hop off and you go and do an excursion, or you go into town. And so you've had this massive contrast between this serene, magical sunrise that is, you know, most of the time it's stunning, and then the busyness of the city that you're going to visit for the day. And so it's a massive contrast between the two, and that's why I wanted to put those two in. Now, this is a nice sketch or illustration of a city. I don't know which city it is. It's just to represent that story and that contrast between the two experiences and all of the emotions that go along with that. So that's why I've got that page there. So I've got that to go in. I have a little project here to do, and I've pulled out a princess patter and cut it down. It was of Hobart on the 23rd of November 2022, and I have a picture of this lady, and we're going to make something with that one. And I also have fussy cut out a lighthouse, but I don't think we'll get to that one today. I have a whole lot of bits and pieces from our steward or vouchers or things to go in. A couple more little postcards out of a magazine. I'm not sure that I'll get to those. I'd like to put this onto a page, so we might glue that onto a page first. And I have some wavy pages out of a magazine that I think we should glue onto a few pages. And I have a piece of copy paper that I have glued on that serviette from when I did the fishy tag. So when I pulled the serviette apart, I actually mentioned to you that the second layer, so it was a 3-ply serviette, I used the top layer to make the bookmarks and the paper clips. The second layer had a slight imprint on it. So that was the one that I Mod Podged down onto here. And it has given me a base for a page. And I'm going to use that to rip this up and create a little bit of a collage with these gold and blue sort of waves and washes out of a magazine, and I have a cruise ship. So let's do the easy pages first. We'll glue down some of those, then we'll do this collage, and we'll see how we're going with the time, and we'll reassess whether we've got time to do this one, or I might do that another time. All right, let's start with gluing. So I think what I'll do is, I think I'll just glue down some of these ones. So let's find a page that I want to back. Let's back this one, the water shuttle to Sydney, and we'll glue it onto here. Yes, so I hope that you've all had some fun doing some projects this week. I am thrilled to be actually working in a journal for a change. Most of the time I do little mini projects. So let's put this on here. So that will just add a little bit of colour to the page. There we go. Now I'm not worried about this writing on here. I will cover that when I do a little bit of a collage on it. But let's slide that under my mat to let it set, and I'll do the next one. There we go. That one is on the Carnival Encounter, and it was the one that we just did actually in April, where we went up to the Queensland coast. And it's just our dining plan of which restaurants to go to. So I'll stuck that on. Let's pop that under the mat as well. Now this one here, I just want to stick that onto a blank page. It's not going to cover the whole page, but I can patch it with something down the track. But it's a lovely image that is worth using. So let's glue that on. So you can see that I'm just gluing a few things on so that my pages have got a little bit of personality, that they're not just blank or of text. They're kind of the start of something for me to get inspired to create on them. Building a base layer that I'll come back to at some stage and build some sort of story onto it. And this just came out of a magazine. There's another nice page of something. Okay, I'm going to let those dry, and while they're drying, we'll go on with doing a little bit of an unusual collage. Okay, I had these sort of postcardy things that I pulled out of the Breathe magazine, and I've cut one of them down. So let's find a blank page that we can work on. There's a blank one. Actually, let's put it onto this one. I like the contrast of the busyness of the schedule in the background. So we have a schedule here. It's a princess patter, and you can see the background is quite busy with all the different things that are on. And then we have this very tranquil lady here that's sitting on the end of a jetty. And like I said, it's just off one of those postcardy things that I pulled out of a magazine. Let's just move these to the side for the moment. And I'm going to turn it the wrong way round so that I'm just working on a single face. And what I'm going to do is, I think I'd like to glue this on here, and then glue on our princess pattern. This is of Hobart, and I'm going to glue that over the top, and then I'm going to try and tear it. This could be a bit risky, but let's try. Let's do something together, and if it doesn't work, it's only a piece of paper, isn't it? So we'll glue down our lady first. Now, I'm not sure whether you all want to hear me going on about cruising. Possibly not, but as I've mentioned before, I love cruising. My husband and I, it's our favourite thing to do. We don't actually have any cruises booked at the moment because we've just been on our big trip to Europe, and that was obviously very expensive for us to do that. Okay, I'm liking that we've got some busyness down the side, and let's just mark this of where I need to cut it off. A problem. Actually, let's just tear it. So I'm just going to line that up. I'm making this up as I go, if you can't tell. I haven't made an example. Most of the time when I'm doing a video, I've made a few examples. Well, it's not the case today. We're flying by the seat of our pants. So let's rip that off. And I'm going to glue this down so that it still looks busy, as if it's the busyness of the ship. And I'm going to glue that over the top of our lady. And she's about to visit Hobart in Tasmania. Now, Tasmania is a state of Australia. It's the little island that is at the very bottom of Australia. And it's lovely. If you ever get an opportunity to go, you should go. It's beautiful. All right, so now what I'm going to attempt to do is tear this so that we can see our lady. So let's just mark it with a pencil, just so that I stay a little bit on track. We'll go to 3 up here, and we'll show some of the boats down here at 2.5. Okay, here goes. So I'm going to tear and aim towards my little dot. Stop, and then start over here and aim towards my little dot. That wasn't too bad, was it? Okay, let's erase those marks now. Just a few quick collages to get started in the journal. Now, what we can do is we can glue our side panels down. So let's put a little bit of glue on this. Thinking, what are you doing, Annie? I'm tearing a peekaboo. I'm tearing a peekaboo so that we can see that our lady, she's gone on a day trip off the boat, and she has gone somewhere in Tasmania, maybe up the River Derwent. So let's hold that up. Ah, yes, that's good. Now, let's roll up our schedule. We might ink it just a tad so that it shows a little bit more. And I don't want it to be all straight and neat. I want it to be, you know, rough and as if you've torn the page and rolled it up yourself to see where your shore excursion is to. Oh, will we go over our day? Ah, yes, let's do that and roll it up and stick it up there. Oh, yeah, that looks all right. Just under the ship. So we can see Hobart, we can see the 23rd, and we'll glue that bit down. There we go. She's escaping from the busyness of the ship, just sitting on a jetty overlooking the river on some little paddle boats. There we go. That was quick and easy, wasn't it? All right, that's one. We'll let that dry. So what's our next project? Okay, I have these pages and our fishies. Actually, let's cut down our page to the correct size because it's a little bit big. So I'll fold it in half. My pages, I'm doing them around about, the height is not a problem. The height of my journal, I can have a 9-inch page or just under 23 centimeters, but in width I need to be sticking to around about 13.5 centimeters, which is just over 5 1/4. Let's cut that to 13.5. With my circle cutter, I have cut out the circle out of a magazine. So I'm just going to cut off that rough edge off of it. I'm not sure which ship it is. It's kind of irrelevant. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a little bit of tearing. So I might just tear these pages that I pulled out of that Breathe magazine. You can see that it's got other stuff on the back. And I'm not going to worry about it too much. let's tear that one straight so it can go down the bottom. And I'm going to re-patch them on in a bit of an irregular pattern. And you're possibly thinking, well, Annie, why didn't you just stick it down? I just felt like tearing it, to be honest. And I'm a bit short of some paper. I don't have enough paper, so I need to stretch it a little bit. And I want it to have some texture. So let's just roughly lay this out. We'll put the lights at the top and get a little bit darker as we go down. I might just be able to make this fit. Wouldn't that be great? All right. I think I may be able to get it to work. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm not going to glue down the very tops of these. I'm going to leave them a little bit open so that I can tuck in little messages. So I think what I'd like to do is glue from the bottom up so that we've got our bases glued. So let's start from the bottom, and this one here can glue all the way down because I'm going to have this one over the top. So yes, we don't have any other cruises booked, but I think I mentioned to you that we are going back to Europe at Christmas because my son, who we just visited, is getting married. And we've got a wedding to go to. It's super exciting. So I need to get my act together and get ahead with my videos, and at the moment I'm not ahead at all. At the moment I'm videoing it pretty much as it needs to happen. Alright, so this one here I'm just going to glue along the bottom and up the side. Now, I've not made this before. Like I said, we're winging it and just having a go. Okay, now I've managed to get them all on and covered. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through and tweak some of the layers so that it sits nicely and that the little pockets are all glued down. So let me fiddle with that for a bit. We have everything stuck down and I'm liking that it's got little pockets everywhere. Oh, a little bit of a relaxing afternoon. So let's just fold that for the moment. See if that tucks in. Oh, it does. Look at that. Have a relaxing afternoon on the boat. And we'll glue our boat on. And I think I need to use glue stick for this because I think that the magazine paper will show the art glitter glue. So let's put a generous amount of glue stick on. And tuck that in there just so that the water is coming up the edge. And I'm going to glue down this side bit now. And I'm going to use my glue eraser. So this is what this is. It's called a glue eraser. And it's very good at erasing glue off of paper. it lifts it off. And I just got this at an art supply shop, a reputable one. Here in Australia, I got it from Eckersley's. I'm not sure where else you would get them in other parts of the world, but somewhere where you would get your good watercolour pencils or canvases to paint on, something like that. Now, there we go. Look at all those little tucks. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in those, but there's tucks everywhere. I do have a whole lot of bits, so I'm not sure what I'll pop in there, but we can sort that out when we start to fill our journal. I'm happy with that. It was nice to play with something. I'm not going to decorate this anymore or do anything with it because today's video is about building pages. So I'll build a few pages. So let me clear the decks and I'll show you the pages we've built, and we'll put them into the journal and have all the signatures in there. And then in our next video, we'll be able to fill the journal with ephemera, and I may do a little bit more collage, but let's see how we go. At the moment, I just want to get pages in there. But this one's a fun page, isn't it? And it's got fishies on the back. All right, I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so let's put in some of our pages that we've got done. Now, I did pop in our 2 pages that I just glued. Remember, we glued these ones, and I've just got them sliding in a few spots. So there's one in each signature. Let's see. Ah, yes, there's the other one. Now, I'd like to put this one with our girl who's relaxing on the jetty. Let's slide her in there. And let's put this one in here with our ship on. Okay, so then we have our city and our Santorini. There we go. That looks lovely in there, doesn't it? That Santorini one. Let's have a quick flick through at the things that we made today. So I've got the journal put together basically, and we covered a few pages there and put a Santorini page in. And we also put in a cityscape, this one here, that's got the sunrise. And then when you come to the back, you hit Santorini, and then you get a beautiful dawn with the birds. And then you hit the city. And then the next signature, we have some of our things that we made as well. So we covered that page. And then we have our fish that has our ship with its pockets in it. And then at the back here, we have our peekaboo with our girl who's come off the boat and has gone to relax up the river. There we go. There's our signatures ready to go in. Let's slide them in, see how they go. Oh, that's good. Look, we've still got plenty of space to pack that out. Now, this is a true junk journal, this one, because the cover, I made it out of junk. I made it out of a postage pack. And then all of the pages in my signature, I've made out of the junk that I've collected off of cruises. Okay, there we go. There's our signatures and pages in our journal today. I hope you enjoyed that and watching me have a little bit of a play of creating something a little bit different and doing putting some pages together in my journal. And like I said, the next video that we do on this journal, which will be at the end of the month, I will load it up with a whole lot of my ephemera that has a nautical or fishy or cruisy theme to it. But there you go. It's coming along, isn't it? It's fun to play in them. Okay, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was a little bit of a different one, but I hope you still enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a thumbs up and think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't subscribed. And have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I hope you get some time to make something fun and new, and I will see you very soon with another project. It will probably be a Junky June project, and then later in the month I will finish off the Junk Journal Madness cruising journal. I'll see you all next week. Bye for now.